अलय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकिर्भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, you are welcome for continuity of our bhakti.
Recording in progress.
Study of 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in chapter 5. Daksh curses Devrishi Narad. So, the section which we are studying today is the Savlasav. The Savlasav follows the path of Hariyashav. So these are the two names of the sons of Daksh. The first batch, which were 10,000, they are called Hariyashav, and the second 1,000 they are called Savlashav. So Hariyashav, they were instructed by Devrishi Narad with the allegory which have 10 subjects, and it's called Kuta Vakya. Kuta means something hidden. Vakya means words. The meaning is different. So what was the meaning of you are not following the order of your real father? Who is real father in the allegory?
Who initiates?
Ji?
Who initiates? He is the real father.
There is in our Krishna conscious philosophy.
Yes.
But in that allegory, who is the father which Narad said?
Was it the Vedas, Prabhu?
Yeah, scripture. Scripture is father. Because scripture is real father. And razor, blade and thunderbolt which is moving in allegory is?
It's time.
Time. Which time and tide waits for none, Srila Prabhupada writes, time. So these out of these 10, 3 you have to master, because this is a question in your question bank. But is a 1.5 verse almost for the 10 subjects or the topics of this allegory for the Hariyashav. So now today we are continuing from verse number 23. Nasham nismaya putranam. Nasham means destroyed. Destroyed means they have become sannyasis. So the putra means the sons of the Daksha, 10,000, they were renounced. It means they are as good as Nasam means destroyed from the family. So Narada, by Devrishi Narad, Chila Shalinam, Chila Shiha, the Shila Shalinam, This is the qualification of those sons. They were best of well-behaved persons. Anavantapayattakah shocham suparjastvam sucham padam. So, Haryashav, the son of Prajapati, were very well behaved and cultured sons. But unfortunately, because of the instruction of Narad Muni, they deviated from the order of their father. When Daksh heard this news, Nishmaya, which was brought to him by Narad Muni, he began to lament, Shocham. Although he was the father of such good sons, he had lost them all. Certainly this was lamentable. Srila Prabhupada writes, Haryashav, son of Prajapati Daksh, were certainly well behaved and learned and advanced in accordance with the order of their father. They went to perform austerities to beget good sons for their family. But Narad Muni took advantage of their good behavior and culture to properly direct them not to be involved with the material world, but to use their culture and knowledge to end their material affairs. The Haryashav abided by the order of Narad Muni, but when news of this was brought to Prajapati Daksh, the Prajapati, instead of being happy with the action of Narad Muni, was extremely sorrowful. Now Prabhupada is using the same analogy with the present situation and Krishna conscious movement at that time. Similarly, Prabhupada says, we are trying to bring as many young men as possible to the Krishna conscious movement for their ultimate benefit, but the parents of the young men joining this movement, being very sorry, are lamenting and making counter propaganda. Of course, Prajapati Daksh did not make propaganda against Narad Muni. But later, as we shall see, Daksha cursed Narad Muni for the benevolent activities. This is the way of materialistic life. A materialistic father and mother wants to engage their sons in begetting children, striving for improved economical condition and rotting in materialistic life. What do you think? What type of parents we are? A materialistic mother and father want to engage their sons in begetting children, striving for improved economical development, economic condition, and rotting in the material life. What do you think? What we parents in the Krishna consciousness, what is our attitude? Same. Hardly few parents I saw are jubilant when their children join ISKCON and become brahmacharis. They are very happy. Only few I have seen in my life.
We want both. Probably can you differ them? It doesn't work.
I said, it's so interesting. We are not happy if they become, Prabhupada writes, they are not unhappy. Prabhupada writes, they are not unhappy when their children become spoiled. When they become spoiled, useless citizens, but they lament when they join Krishna conscious movement to achieve the ultimate goal of life. This animosity between parents and Krishna conscious movement has existed since time immemorial. If they become better, say, I'm saying we all are parents. When the children are married, they leave the parents. In any case, they are not going to serve the parents. Very hardly you can find few. But if they go to Krishna consciousness, they have become spoiled. And otherwise they are spoiled materially, they are not worried about that. What if the correct psychology Prabhupada is extracting from this example? Even Narad Muni was condemned. Even Narad Muni was condemned not to speak of others. Nevertheless, Narad Muni never gives up his mission. To deliver as many souls as possible, he continues playing his musical instrument and vibrating the transcendent sound, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Chakravarti Pad has a one line very nice. For a householder, becoming a Vaishnava is a loss. Daksh then lamented, "Oh, all my good sons have been bewildered by Narad." He lamented that having good son was a cause of sorrow. He wailed, "Person destined for sorrow and lamentation have good sons." Any such thing you remember in our Bhagavatam where bad sons was good? Bad.
Vena?
Sorry, just say again.
Vena?
Yes, Vena. Ven's father, Ven afterwards become bad. Yeah, but the father said, "It is good that I get a bad son because now I am detached from the world and I am going." So this says good son is a cause of sorrow because they renounce, and bad sons make the parents renounce. You get this point? And Bhagavad said when somebody has a very notorious son, then the parent retire and become spiritually enlightened. But here Daksh says if they are good sons, then they lament because they leave. If the sons are good, they leave. If the sons are bad, the parents leave. Verse number 24. Sabhuya panchajanyam ajenah parishantavitah putram ajanyat dakshah shavalasham sah shrinah. Again, from his wife, the daughter of Panchajani, celestial girl, he got 1,000 sons, Sahasrana. They are called Shavalasam. When Prajapati Daksh was lamenting for his children, Lord Brahma pacified him with instructions, and thereafter Daksh begot 1,000 more children in womb of his wife Panchajani. This time his sons were known as Savalashav. So, Ajena Parisantavitan. Ajena means by Brahma. Parisantavit means pacified. Prajapati Daksh was so named because he was expert in begetting children. The word Daksh means expert. Firstly, he begot 10,000 children in the womb of his wife, and when the children were lost, when they returned home back to Godhead, he begot another set of children known as Savalashav. Prajapati Daksh is very expert in begetting children, and Narad Muni is very expert in delivering all the conditioned soul back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, materialistic experts do not agree with spiritual expert, Narad Muni. But this does not mean that Narad Muni will give up his engagement of chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Verse number 25. Techa Pitra Samadishta. They were also asked by their father, Praja sarge dhira vrtaha. For creation they should become sober and follow some rules for austerity. Narayan Sara Jagmu, they also went to the same place called Narayan Sar. Yatra Siddha Swa Purvaja, where there are, his Purvaja means his older brothers went perfected, Siddha, they become Siddha or they become perfected. In accordance with their father's order to beget children, the second group of sons also went to Narayan Sar, the same place where their brothers had previously attained perfection by following the instruction of Narad. Undertaking great vows of austerity, the Savlasav remained in that place, at that place. Prajapati Daksh sent his second group of sons to the same place where his previous sons had attained perfection. He did not hesitate to send his second group of sons to the same place, although they too might become victims of Narad's instruction. According to the Vedic culture, one should be trained in spiritual understanding as a brahmachari before entering household life to beget children. This is the Vedic system. Thus, Prajapati Daksh sent his second group of sons for cultural improvement, despite the risk that because of the instruction of Narada, they might become as intelligent as their older brothers. As a dutiful father, he did not hesitate to allow his sons to receive cultural instruction concerning the perfection life. He depended upon them to choose whether to return home back to Godhead or rot in the material world in various species of life. In all circumstances, the duty of the father is to give cultural education to his sons, who must later decide which way to go. Responsible fathers should not hinder their sons who are making cultural advancement in association with Krishna conscious movement. This is not father's duty. The duty of the father is to give his son complete freedom to make the choice after becoming spiritually advanced by following the instruction of the spiritual master. They should decide what they want to do. After training the children in the spiritual culture, freedom should be given to choose their path. Either they want to become, say, renunciant and follow the path back to Godhead, or they want to become householder and continue Pravarti Marg or Nivarti Marg. They should decide. They should not be forced to follow some path. Verse 27. Tada upasprashnad eva. Then they touch the water. Vinardhut, they become completely clean. Malashya, from all the contamination. Japanto Brahma Paramam. So most of the purport is Japanto Brahma Paramam. They were chanting Brahma Paramam, Param Brahma mantra. Tepos tatra mahat tapaha, and doing the austerities. At Narayan Sar, second group of sons performed penance in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch all the dirty material desires in their heart were cleansed away. They murmured mantra beginning with Omkar and underwent severe course of austerities. So Srila Prabhupada writes, every Vedic mantra is Brahma, because such a mantra is preceded by the Brahma Akshar or Om or Omkar. For example, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. In all the Vedic mantra, I am representative of Pranav or Omkar. Thus, chanting of the Vedic mantra begin with Omkar is directly chanting of Krishna's name. There is no difference. Whether one chant Omkar or addresses the Lord as Krishna, the meaning is same. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that in this age, one chants Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Although there is no difference between Hare Krishna and the Vedic mantra beginning with Omkar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, leader of the spiritual movement for this age, has recommended that one chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. See, Prabhupada is so liberal and gentle. There is no difference between Omkar and Krishna. But still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, and he is recommending chanting Hare Krishna. So I remember in early days in preaching, somewhere people asked the question, what is the problem with chanting Omkar? I think at that time the answer was given like that. When child is a baby, when he has to call his parents, he will say because he is not really pronouncing with the tongue. So this is Omkar. But when he's grown up, then he will tell his father's exact name. My father's name is Shriman Gopal Das, Shriman Krishna Das. So similarly, those who are still in a beginning stage, they can chant this Omkar, and those who are advanced, they chant Krishna. But there is no difference between the two. It is as like Brahm is non-different than Bhagavan. You know, Brahm and Bhagavan are same because in Tattva they are one Tattva, Advaita Tattvam. Advaita Tattvam, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan is one. So similarly, Om is Brahm. Om represents Brahm aspect of Bhagavan. So this is same. There is no difference between the two. But when we say Krishna, we are saying Bhagavan. So they are non-different, but they are also different. Abhakshan, Katichan Masan. For certain months, they were not eating anything. Abhakshan, Bhakshan means eating. Katichan Vayu Bhojana. For some months, they were only eating air. Aradhyam Mantram Imam. They were chanting this mantra. Abhyasyantaha Idyas Patim. Om Namo Narayanaya. This was the mantra they were chanting. Om Namo Narayanaya. Purushaya Mahatmane. Vishuddha Sattva Dhishniyaya Mahahansaya Dhimahi. So this was the mantra Shabla Vasav was chanting. Om Namo Narayanaya Purushaya Mahatmane Vishuddha Sattva Dhishnaya Mahahansaya Dhimahi. What is the meaning of Dhimahi?
Let's meditate.
Yes, so Dhi means intelligence. Mahi means mind. Let my intelligence be focused on Krishna. Say Krishna. Dhi Mahi. Dhi. Dhi means Buddhi. Dhi. For few months, the son of Prajapati drank only water and ate only air. Thus, undergoing great austerities, they recited this mantra. Let us offer restful obeisance unto Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated in his transcendental abode. Since he is the Supreme Person, Paramahansa, let us offer our respectful obeisance unto him. Abhakshaya. Ab means water, like Abhaja. Abhaja. What is the meaning of Abhaja? Meaning of Abhaja.
Born of water.
Born of water. Who is born of water? Lotus. Lotus is called Abhaja. Ambuja. Ambu is also water. Ja means Ambuja. Ambuja Aksha. Lotus eyed. So Abba means water. Ja means born. One who is born of water. And this is the name for lotus flower. So Abha Bhakshan means they are only drinking water. All right. From these verses, this is Prabhupada's purport, which is important. From these verses, it is apparent that the chanting of Mahamantra or Vedic mantra must be accompanied by severe austerities. In Kali Yuga, people cannot undergo severe austerities like those mentioned herein, drinking only water and eating air, only air for many months. One cannot imitate such person, but at least one must undergo some austerities by giving up 4 unwanted principles, namely illicit sex, mediating, intoxication, and gambling. Anyone can easily practice the tapasya, and then the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra will be effective without delay. One should not give up the process of austerity. What do you think? We are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. These 4 austerities everybody is doing, right? So first Srila Prabhupada is saying these are the 4 austerities. So we should do. Why they are austerities? Some other purport Prabhupada writes these things. Modern days everybody is indulged in all these things. To give up all these things is very difficult. But now, after so long we are in Krishna consciousness, these 4 things are just have become our second nature. So still for chanting Hare Krishna, this line you remember is good line for our self-application. Anyone can easily practice this tapasya, and then the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra will be effective without delay. So it is not effective right now. Why? It is delayed because we don't have much tapasya in our life. One must not give up the process of austerity. If possible, one should bath in the water of the Ganges or Yamuna, or in the absence of Ganga and Yamuna, one may bath in the water of the sea. This is an item of austerity. Our Krishna conscious movement has therefore established 2 very large centers, one in Vrindavan and another in Mayapur, Navadip. There one may bath in the Ganga or Yamuna, chant Hare Krishna mantra, and thus become perfect and return home back to Godhead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes.
I think we are not bathing in Yamuna. That may be the reason we are not getting results.
No, not exactly. Before anywhere you are taking bath, you chant this mantra: Gange cha Jamune Godavari Saraswati Kaveri Jale Asmin Sindhim Kuru. This mantra, if we chant, all the rivers will come here and purify me. Gange cha Jamune cha Saraswati Godavari Narmada Sindhu Kuru. But what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that these 2 centers are on the bank of Yamuna and Ganga. But how many people who are living there bath in Ganga and Yamuna? I don't know. Those who are living in Vrindavan, some are going at least to see Yamuna. Maybe hardly 1 or 2 are bathing in Yamuna. There is one old story that there was...
Yes, I go and sit there and see.
Sorry? The visitors take bath.
I go sit and see Yamuna.
No, what I'm saying, some who are
Yes.
coming from
Yes, I saw.
outside they do go and take bath. But those who are living will not take bath. There's an old story in Mathura. In Mathura, some man has a devotee. In Mathura,
Leela Madhuri.
sorry? I'm telling this story.
No, okay. Continue.
We are not hearing you.
Continue, Prabhu.
So I'm saying the story is that this person was devoted to take bath every day in Jamuna. And it was his vow. He has to take, what if it is, say, raining, it is hot, it's cold, whatever, he used to take bath in Jamuna. So when he became old, but still he was going, and it was heavy raining, he could not see the way. Then some young boy came and asked, Baba, you want to go and take bath in Yamuna? He held the hand and took him to the Yamuna. And later he realized that if somebody has such woe, then Krishna will help them to continue their woe. So taking bath in Yamuna or Ganga, Prabhupada, I'm saying, what is Prabhupada's vision or mission that we have established two centers? It means he desired the devotee should go there, take bath in these holy rivers and chant Hare Krishna. This is his mood. I mean, he wants this. But unfortunately, we are living in Vrindavan, Mayapur, but hardly, we go and they take bath as a picnic. Not every day for purification. Sometimes just we go there. So I think these lines are also very important. And just I'm in a different place today with a devotee from Dubai in Rajasthan. He's coming from Mayapur. Just at lunchtime he was telling me the 2-bedroom flat in Mayapur is 80 lakh rupees. So 80 lakh means 8 million Indian rupees. He said, how can we afford to buy that and live there and chant? If we go there and spend so much money, then definitely we will try to earn money there rather than chant Hare Krishna. So what we were discussing, the holy places where we want to go and stay, even they become so costly now, their price is as high as Bombay or Delhi. So it's not easy that simple sadhu can live there and chant and take bath in Jamuna, because it has become so costly now, practically speaking. But instead, Prabhupada's desire is that we should have something. When we live there, we should go take bath in Yamuna or Ganga, or at least go see the Ganga, see the river Yamuna. That is also purifying. Just have a one mug of water and just do a achmal little sprinkle on our head. It is purifying. So I'm saying what Prabhupada's mood is like that. We are not able to only follow this simple thing when we are living in Vrindavan. So you lived 3 months Ekanta during your Bhakti Shastri. How many times you took bath in Jamuna?
None. Sorry.
So what I am saying, this is so says everybody is living there. Or this year, last year, Yamuna came to our to our Gaushala. So much rain that Yamuna water came to our Gaushala. Then hardly we somehow touched the Yamuna water, because now Yamuna thought that they are not coming. I should go and give them darshan there. She came to our VIHE near that Gaushala, and we did some arti there. Some devotees went and did arti to Yamuna there. So Yamuna thought, they are not coming, I should go there. What can I do? And Ganga is coming very often in Mayapur, because they are not going there, for Ganga comes in Mayapur and they have to take bath, because the water is overhead, so they have to take bath naturally. So now it is completely opposite. Ganga and Yamuna, they are coming to give their darshan and forcing them us to take bath. We are not going there. Verse number 29. Iti tanapi
Can
rajendra.
I ask one question?
Yes.
Based on your personal experience, what kind of tapas you are suggesting for us to improve our chanting, other than taking bath in Yamuna and Ganga?
I think I personally feel it differs from person to person. Everybody can have some type of woe in a life. That I should say some people I know, they said, till I finish chanting my rounds, I will not, take breakfast. Some people have some type of woe. Some people, they say till we, something, whatever they feel like, every day at least for 1 hour I will sit in front of Tulsi and chant. Yeah, something which is at least we can do. We are able to do, and we cannot leave that up. But depending on person, because like there are travelers, we are traveling every day. Most of the time our chanting is when we are in the flight or on the road. And then we chant more than 16 rounds sometimes. The lengthy the flight, more beneficial for us to chant more. So the austerity, I think, what this group suggests, which austerity we should at least from this purpose take in our life, to some simple that we all can do. What is the opinion of the group? Chanting before Tulsi is very good. This is simple but very, it's called, what's called, it's very spiritual.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I think eating lesser
Sorry, say
is
again?
a good.
Huh?
I think eating lesser is a good austerity. So
For-
let's say whatever,
for
one
me-
time or 2 time meal or something instead of eating 3 times. I mean, it's a good austerity and it's good for health also. There's a scientific research. It's good for longevity, everything. So
It's good
that's
for
a
it's
trend.
good for me, not for Ekanta. Only for last 4-5 days in night I stopped eating simply soup. That's all. It's not applicable to all, but I think your advice is good. If we decrease eating to the limit that which should not starve us, we will be more active and more practical. That's good. It's a good suggestion. You may increase the time or quantity. There's a one Maha mantra for dining table. Do you know this? Moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. This is a mantra should be on the dining table. Moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. Means if you eat more, then you will be heavy and you will not be able to walk. So this is one suggestion. I suggested one that we should at least sit in front of Tulsi and chant. Some other suggestion?
Prabhuji, one austerity can be done, which is
Yes, Tyagi, what you are saying?
to complete all our rounds in one go, without touching the phone, without talking to anyone.
To complete our all rounds in one go without touching the phones, which is very common. Okay, that's a good idea. Therefore the best time for these rounds is before sunrise. Then it's possible because nobody is going to disturb you. Okay, this is the good idea. Some more suggestions?
Chanting 64 on Ekadashis, maybe.
Chanting 64 on Ekadashi is also very nice. Only on Nirjal Ekadashi we commend to chant 64. And once in a year, this is our one practice. One guru who used to do that. You okay? Very good.
We practicing to see good in others always.
Sorry, say again.
Practice to see good in others. Always to see good in others.
Yeah, this is one purport. The problem with Daksh is that he is a very good sadhak and good person, but he was finding fault in others. There is one purport like this. So not to find fault in others, this is the one austerity we should practice. Good. Leela Madhuri, you suggested what is your opinion?
I attend Mangalarati without fail and sit and chant in front of Prabhupada in our temples.
Very good, Joy.
Trying to.
So, which temple you are serving, Ma?
Sri Narasimha Giridhari Mandir, SNGM. Sri Narasimha Giridhari Mandir, Bangalore.
Bangalore. Oh, I visited that temple many times. Yeah. Oh, it's no. Narasimha Giridhari Mandir, very nice. Bangalore, very nice. Anyway, this idea is good. What is it practical for everybody? Again, I am saying practical for everybody. I think one idea we can get from Golok Vasani is good. As now, try to not find fault in others. This will give us a good mileage in our chanting. Because we think of somebody's, shortcomings in our chanting, so we are distracted. Okay, good. Anyway, this is a good topic to discuss. Eating less, I will take this suggestion to eat less. It is good for me.
Kaveri, wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
From this purport. Prabhupada mentions that one should bathe in the waters of Ganges or Yamuna, or in the absence of Ganges or Yamuna, one may bathe in the water of the sea.
See,
So,
Prabhupada, yes, sea means Prabhupada at that time when he was writing, the idea was Jagannath Puri, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take bath every day in sea. It appears like that. Because the third place where the people live is Jagannath Puri, our Gaudiya Vaishnava. So they take bath in sea. Right? This is the mood. This was in Prabhupada's mind at that time. It appears. But any sea is okay, but this sea where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take bath has become a very auspicious place. Jagannath Puri. Yeah. Okay, verse number 29. Iti tanapi rajendra praja sarge dhiyo munihi upetyah narad praha vachah kutani purvavata. So now, with little intelligence, you can see what is the meaning of verse. King Parikshit, Narad Muni approached the son of Daksh Prajapati who were engaged in tapasya to beget children. He spoke enigmatic words to them just as he had spoken to their elder brothers. Verse 30. Dakshayana sangshrununa shrunotta gadato nigamam mama. This word nigamam Prabhupada has taken as for purport. Anvichattano padvim bhratranam bhratra vatsala. O son of Daksh, please hear my words of instruction attentively. So here nigam means instruction. You are all very affectionate to your elder brothers, the Haryasav. Therefore you should follow their path. Srila Prabhupada writes, Narad Muni approached Prajapati Daksh's second group of sons by awakening their natural affinity for their brothers. He urged them to follow their older brother, if they were at all affectionate towards them. Family affection is very strong, and therefore Narad Muni followed this tactic of reminding them of their family relation with their Haryasev. Generally, the word Nigam refers to Veda, but here Nigam refers to instruction contained in the Veda. Srimad Bhagavat says, Nigam kalpatror galitam phalam. The Vedic instructions are like tree of which Srimad Bhagavatam is ripened fruit. Narad Muni is engaged in distributing this fruit, and therefore he instructed Vyasadeva to write this Mahapurana, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the benefit of ignorant human society. Anarthopashamanam, this is the verse from 1st canto, 7th chapter. The material miseries of the living entities which are superfluous to them can be directly mitigated by linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to supreme truth. People are suffering because of ignorance and are following wrong path for happiness. This is called unearth. These material activities will never make them happy, and therefore Narad instructed Vyasadeva to record the instruction of Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva actually followed Narad and did this. Srimad Bhagavatam is supreme instruction of Veda. Galitam phalam, the ripened fruit of Veda, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigam means instruction. Verse 31. Bhratridam prayanam bhrata te anushtiti dharmavita sapunya bandhu purusho marudbhi saha modite. Marudbhi, the Marud are also 49, they are friends, so they will go there, which means they will go to Vaikuntha. As brother aware of the principle of religion follow the footsteps as his elder brothers, because of being highly elevated, such pious brother get the opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods like Marut, who are all affectionate to their brothers. Srila Prabhupada writes, according to their belief in various material relationships, people are promoted to the various planets. Here it is said that one who is very faithful to his brothers should follow a path similar to theirs and get the opportunity for promotion to Marut Lok. Narad Muni advised Prajapati Daksh's second group of sons to follow their elder brothers and be promoted to the spiritual world. Now this is Chakravarti Path's line. You will enjoy with Maruta who were affectionate to their brothers. This example indicates you will enjoy with your brothers who are gone to Vaikuntha. So this part Srila Prabhupada has written, promoted to spiritual world. Verse 32. Sukdev Goswami continued, O best of the advanced Aryan, Parikshit, after saying this much to the son of Prajapati Daksh, Narad Muni, whose merciful glance never go in vain, left as he had planned. The son of Daksh followed their elder brothers, not attempting to produce children. They engaged themselves in Krishna consciousness. Verse 33. The Shavalasava took to the correct path, which is obtainable by a mode of life meant to achieve devotional service or mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like knights that have gone to the west, they have not returned even till now. Having followed the correct path, favorable for attaining Lord, which gives internal realization, they have not returned even till today, just as night after passing does not return. So the analogy is there. Having taken to the proper path of bhakti, the favorable path of the Lord for attaining internal realization, they did not return like the passing of the night. Verse 34. At this time, Prajapati Daksha observed many inauspicious signs and heard from various sources that his second group of sons, the Savlasav, had followed the path of their elder brothers in accordance with the instruction of Narad. Last verse of this section. Chokrodha Nardhasu, he became angry on Narad. When he heard that Savlasav had also left this world to engage in devotional service, Daksh was angry at Narad, and he almost fainted due to lamentation. Vimurchitaha. When Daksh met Narad, Daksh's lips were trembling in anger, and he spoke as follows. Now Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur commented that Narad Muni had delivered entire family of Swayambhu Manu, beginning with Priyavarta and Uttanpad. He had delivered Uttanpad's son Dhruva, and he had even delivered Prachin Barit, who was engaged in fruitive activities. Nevertheless, he could not deliver Prajapati Daksha. Prajapati Daksha saw Narad before him, because Narad has personally come to deliver him. Narad Muni took the opportunity to approach Prajapati Daksha in his bewilderment, because the time of bewilderment is suitable for a time for appreciating Bhakti Yoga. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, 4 kinds of men: Arat, one who is distressed; Artharthi, one in need of money; Jigyasu, one who is inquisitive; and Jnani, the person in knowledge, try to understand devotional service. Prajapati Daksha was in great distress because of the loss of his sons, and therefore Narad took the opportunity to instruct him regarding liberation from the material bondage. So usually when there is a death in somebody's house, there is a time to go there and speak Gita and something, because at that time they are ready to listen. So see here, this is the purport by Chakravarti Pad. Narad considered as follows. So he was thinking, the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu, Priyavart, Uttanpad, Dhruva, and other all attained Lord by my effort. Prachin Bharat, who also, though involved in karma, was delivered. His sons, the 10 Prachetas, and his grandsons, Haryashav and 1,000 Shavlasav, are delivered. How is it that only Daksh remained playing in the blind hole of household life? I will deliver him also. Hearing that his sons have renounced, lamenting Daksh now remain in his house with detachment. Now is the suitable time to give him mercy. If he does not come to me, I will go to his house. For this reason, Narad went to see Daksh. But Daksh was not ready. Now we are going to the last section.
Excuse me.
Yes.
What would be the proper reaction of Daksha instead of anger? Because actually he had also his mission, and how he should react instead of being angry.
Instead of being angry? So I could not properly listen. Can you again say?
What would be the proper reaction of Daksha to this behavior of Narada Muni? He became angry, but what would be the correct behavior for Daksha?
Correct behavior, he should garland the Narada and said, you have saved my sons, thank you very much. And you have come to save me. I am following your instruction. I am following at your lotus feet. Please deliver me. But he could not do this because he has done the offense to Lord Shiva earlier. So it's still that effect is there.
But Prabhuji, doesn't Daksh also give direct instructions to create offspring?
That's also there. Therefore, we compare the Daksh and Kardam as Daksh and the Dhruva Maharaj. Both were for need they went to God, but one become purified and one is not able to purify. And same thing.
But it's like he's been given a direct order by the Lord, and then another devotee is interfering with his ability to execute that order that has been given by the Lord, right? So anger is not appropriate, but cannot be just,
But
I don't know.
the Narad is also one of the incarnation of God. Maybe this is more important order, latest version of the order than the revised order for the Daksha. So the God can also revise the order. The best one is go back to home rather than to be stay here. But there is a need for somebody to stay here, and Daksha is the right candidate for that. So Daksha is right in his own way, and Narad is right in his own way. Therefore, the portion of Daksha's Pravritti Marg is also done. And the portion of the Narad's Nivritti Marg is also done. So Lord is, pleased with both in one sense. But ultimately, Daksha is not delivered even by the effort of Narada. So we should not feel, depressed when we are not able to deliver somebody, because Narada also failed in delivering Daksha. Sri Daksha Vacha. So now this section, which is almost 4 and 14, 18 verses, 19. Daksha blasphemes and curses Narada Muni. This is not a good reaction by Daksha. Shri Daksha Vacha, Aho asadhu sadhu nam sadhu linge nastvaya asadhva akarya arbhakanam. Arbhakanam means my sons. They were very innocent children. Bhikshur marga pardarshita. You have made them follow the renounced order. Prajapati Daksh said, alas, Narada, you wear the dress of saintly person, but you are not actually a saint. Indeed, although I am now in a grast life, I am saintly person. By showing my sons the path of renunciation, you have done me a abominable injustice. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sanyasira alpa chidra sarva loka gaye. What it means, if the person in renounced order has a smallest or slightest hole in his life, chidra means hole. Sarva loka gaya means everybody will speak about his that one small mistake. In society, one will find many sannyasis, vanprasthas, grasta and brahmacharis. But if all of them properly live in accordance with their duties, they are understood to be sadhus. Prajapati Daksh was certainly a sadhu because he had executed such great austerities that the Supreme Personality, Lord Vishnu, had appeared before him. Nevertheless, he had a fault-finding mentality. This is the purport I was speaking. He had a fault-finding mentality. He improperly thought Narada Muni to be a sadhu or non-saintly because Narada had foiled his intention. Desiring to train his son to become grasta, fully equipped with the knowledge, Daksha had sent them to execute austerities by Narayan sir. Narada Muni, however, taking advantage of their highly elevated position and austerity, instructed them to become Vaishnava in the renounced order. This is the duty of Narada Muni and his followers. They must show everyone the path of renouncing this material world and returning home back to Godhead. Prajapati Daksh, however, could not see the exaltation of the duties of Narada Muni performed in relation to his sons. Unable to appreciate Narada Muni's behavior, Daksh accused Narada of being a sadhu. The word Bilakshor Marg, the Bhikshur Marg. Bhikshur Marg, the path of renounced order. Bhikshu means beggar. Are very significant in this regard. Sannyasi is called Tridandi Bhikshu. because his duty is to beg alms from homes of Grasta and to give Grasta spiritual instruction. A sannyasi is allowed to beg from door to door, but a Grasta cannot do so. Grasta may earn their livelihood according to 4 divisions of spiritual life. A Brahman Grasta may earn his livelihood by becoming a learned scholar and teaching people in general how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He may also assume the duty of worship himself. Therefore, it is said that only Brahman may engage in deity worship, and they may accept a prasad, whatever people offer the deity. Although Brahman may sometimes accept charity, it is not for his personal maintenance, but for the worship of deity. Thus, the Brahman does not stock anything for his future use. Similarly, Kshatriya may collect taxes from the citizen. They must also protect the citizen, enforce rules and regulation, and maintain law and order. Vaishya should earn their livelihood through agriculture and cow protection, and Shudra should maintain the livelihood by serving the 3 higher class. Unless one becomes Brahman, one cannot take sannyas. Sannyasis and brahmacharis may beg alms door to door, but the grasta cannot. Prajapati Daksh condemned Narad Muni because Narad, a brahmachari who could beg from door to door, had made sannyasis of Daksh's sons who were being trained to be grasta. Daksh was extremely angry at Narad because he thought that Narad had done him a great injustice. According to Daksh's opinion, Narad Muni has misled Daksh's inexperienced son, a sadhu, a karya, or bhakanam. Daksh regarded his sons as innocent boys who had been misled when Narad showed them the renounced order of life. Because of all these considerations, Prajapati Daksh charged that Narad Muni was a sadhu and should not have adopted the dress of sadhu. Sometimes a saintly person is misunderstood by grasta, especially when he instructs their sons to accept Krishna consciousness. Generally, a grasta thinks that unless one enters grasta life, he cannot properly enter renounced order. If a young man immediately adopts the path of renounced order in accordance with the instruction of Narada, or member of his disciplic succession, his parents become very angry. The same phenomena is occurring in our Krishna conscious movement, because we are instructing all the young boys in the Western countries to follow the path for renunciation. We allow grasta life, but a grasta also follow the path of renunciation. Even the grasta has to give up so many bad habits that his parents think his life has been practically destroyed. What is that? We allow no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxication. And consequently, the parent wonder how, if there are so many no in life, life can be positive. In the Western countries, especially, these 4 prohibited activities practically constitute the life and soul of modern population. Therefore, parents sometimes dislike our movement, just as Prajapati Daksh disliked the activities of Narad and accused Narad of dishonesty. Nevertheless, although parents may be angry at us, we must perform our duty without hesitation, because we are in disciplic succession from Narad Muni. People addicted to householder life wonder how one can give up the enjoyment of grasta life, which is a concession for sex enjoyment, simply to become a mendicant in the Krishna consciousness. They do not know that the householder's concession for sex life cannot be regulated unless one accepts the life of mendicant. The Vedic civilization therefore enjoined that at the end of one's 50th year, one must give up household life. This is compulsory. However, because modern civilization is misled, householders want to remain in family life until death, and therefore they are suffering. In such cases, the disciple of Narad Muni advised all the members of the younger generation to join the Krishna conscious movement immediately. There is nothing wrong in this. Chakravarti Pad writes, by wearing the dress of saintly person, you are causing great deception. We are saintly. Plural case is used out of pride. I am saintly. You have produced great misfortune for me. Who would never show such hatred to you, even in dreams? Your great offense has become visible now after some time. What injustice did I do? Narad asked. You with envy, not tolerating the happiness of household life, have shown a path of beggars to my small children. They are like children innocent and are accepted teaching from a cheater like you. Now the another meaning which Chakravarti Pad is saying, another meaning can be given to this verse. O Narad, to whom no one can compare as saint. There is no one with such marks of saint. You have shown the path of saintly to my sons. This double meaning can be taken in verses following as well, but will not explain in order that the commentary remains concise. So there is same thing can be in the other verse. Renibhir tribhiranuktanam amimam sitah karmanam vigatam shriyas papa lokayor ubhayo kirtaha. Prajapati Daksh said, my sons were not at all freed from their three debts. Indeed, they did not properly consider their obligation, O Narad Muni, O personality of sinful action. You have obstructed their progress towards good fortune in this world and next, because they are still debited to the saintly person, demigod, and their father. So there is a verse here. According to this verse, which is in the purport of Chakravarti Pad, as soon as Brahman takes birth, he assumes three kind of dates. The date to great saints, dates to demigods, and dates to father. Son of Brahman must undergo celibacy, brahmacharya, to clear his dates to the saintly person. He must perform ritualistic ceremonies, means yajna, to clear the dates to the demigods. And he must beget children to become free from his debts to his father. Prajapati Daksha argued that although the renounce order is recommended for liberation, one cannot attain liberation unless one fulfills his obligation to the demigod, saints, and his father. Since Daksha's sons had not liberated themselves from these three debts, how could Narad have led them to renounce order of life? Apparently, Prajapati Daksha did not know the final decision of Shastra, as stated in Bhagavatam 11.541. Devrishi bhutapta niranam pitrinam kinkronayam rinicha rajan sarvatmanah saranam saranyam agato mukandam paribirtya kartam. Everyone is indebted to the demigods, to living entities in general, to his family, to the pittas and so on. But if one fully surrenders to Krishna, Mukunda, who can give one liberation even if one performs no yajna, one is freed from all debts. Even if one does not repay his debts, he is freed from all debts if he renounces the material world for the sake of Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet are shelter for everyone. This is the verdict of the Shastra. Therefore, Narad Muni was completely right in instructing son of Prajapati Daksha to renounce this material world immediately and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Unfortunately, Prajapati Daksha, the father of Haryasva and Savalasava, did not understand the great service rendered by Narad Muni. Daksha therefore addressed him as Papa, personality of sinful activities, and Asadhu, non-saintly person. Since Narad Muni was a great saint and a Vaishnava, he tolerated all such accusation from Prajapati Daksha. He merely performed his duty as a Vaishnava by delivering all sons of Prajapati Daksha, enabling them to return home back to Godhead. Chakravarti Pad writes, by taking a renunciation, it is possible to cross over sansar. But renunciation is not suitable for persons in household life to follow. Shruti says, Jayamano हवै ब्राह्मण त्रिभिर्ऋणवान जायते ब्रह्मचर्यं ऋषिभ्यो यज्ञेन देवभ्यो प्रजाः पितृभ्यो एष्वा अरणो यः पुत्रिः यजं कृत brahmachari vapi. The Brahman has 3 dates. By birth, by brahmachari one repays sages, by sacrifice one repays devatas, and by producing offspring one repays pitra. He who has sons performs sacrifice and observes brahmachari life has no dates. Vasishtha Dharma Shastra. My son did not repay their dates and did not consider their karma. They are not free from dates to the sages yet. They are not free from dates to the devatas and pitras, since they will not produce children or perform sacrifice. O sinner, killer of trust, because of renouncing material enjoyment without paying their debts, their fortune in this life has been ruined. Fortune in next life is also ruined because they have taken to renounce order without being qualified. Manu says, having paid one's 3 debts, the mind should enter into liberation. Not paying those debts and practicing for liberation, a person goes to hell. Verse 38. Balanam mati bhiddhari. 5. Parshad madhya charasi yasho. This is Prajapati continue. Thus committing violence against other living entity, and yet claiming to be associate of Lord Vishnu. You are defaming Supreme Personality of Godhead. You needlessly created a mentality of renunciation and innocent voice, and therefore you are shameless and devoid of compassion. How would you travel with personal associate of Supreme Lord? Devoid of compassion, defaming Supreme Lord, shameless. Somebody should read purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
The mentality of Prajapati Daksha still continues even today. When young boys join the Krishna consciousness movement, their fathers and so-called guardians are very angry at the propaganda of the Krishna consciousness movement because they think that their sons have been unnecessarily induced to deprive themselves of the material enjoyments of eating, drinking, and merrymaking. Karmis footy workers think that one should fully enjoy his present life in this material world and also perform some pious activities to be promoted to the higher planetary systems for further enjoyment in the next life. The yogi, however, especially a bhakti yogi, is callous to the opinions of this material world. He is not interested in traveling to the higher planetary systems of the demigods to enjoy a long life in an advanced materialistic civilization. As stated by Prabodhananda Saraswati, Kaivalyam narakhaye tridashapur akashapash papsayate. For a devotee merging into the Brahman, existence is hellish, and life in the higher planetary systems of the demigods is a will or the wish, a phantasmagoria with no real existence at all. The pure devotee is not interested in yogic perfection, travel to higher planetary systems, or oneness with Brahman. He is interested only in rendering service to the personality of Godhead. Since Prajapati Daksha was a karmi, he could not appreciate the great service Narad Muni had rendered his 11,000 sons. Instead, he accused Narad Muni of being sinful and charged that because Narad Muni was associated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord would also be defamed. Thus, Daksha criticized that Narad Muni was an offender to the Lord, and although he was known as an associate of the Lord.
Chakravarti Pad writes, what can I say to such an evil person as you? The Lord become defamed by servants like you. You are without compassion. You spoil the intelligence fixed in performing karma according to scripture. You have destroyed the fame of the Lord. This means that you have committed offense against the Lord among the Vaishnavas, among the devotees of the Lord like me. The offense is therefore difficult to remove. What to speak of doing bad activities, being without compassion, being without remorse and betraying trust. So, verse number 39. All the devotees of the Lord but you, except you, are very kind to the conditioned soul, are eager to benefit others. Although you wear the dress of a devotee, you create enmity with people who are not your enemies. You break friendship and create enmity between friends. Are you not ashamed of posing as a devotee while performing these abominable actions? Such are the criticisms that must be borne by the servant of Narad Muni in disciplic succession. Through the Krishna conscious movement, we are trying to train young people to become devotees and return home back to Godhead by following rigid regulated principle. But our service is appreciated neither in India nor abroad in Western countries, where we are endeavoring to spread Krishna consciousness movement. In India, the caste Brahmins have become enemies of Krishna conscious movement because we elevate foreigners who are supposed to be Maleshas and Yavanas to the position of Brahmana. We train them in austerities and penance and recognize them as Brahman by awarding them sacred thread. Thus the caste Brahman of India are very displeased by our activities in Western world. In the West also, the parents of the younger people who join this movement have also become enemies. We have no business creating enemies, but the process is such that non-devotees will always be inimical towards us. Nevertheless, as stated in Shastra, a devotee should be both tolerant and merciful. Devotees engaged in preaching should be prepared to be accused by ignorant person, and yet they must be very merciful to the fallen conditioned souls. If one can execute his duty in the disciplic succession of Narada Muni, his service will surely be recognized, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita. Yadam paramam gohiyam madbhakteshu abhidhasyati bhaktim mai pram kirtva evasyasi asankhya nacha tasman manusheshu kaschan me priya kritam maha bhavita nacha me tasmad anya priyatro bhuvi. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. There's no servant in this world nor more dear to me than he, nor will there be one more dear. Let us continue preaching the message of Krishna and not be afraid of enemies. Our only duty is to satisfy Lord by this preaching, which will be accepted as a service to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna. We must sincerely serve the Lord and not be deterred by our so-called enemies. In this verse, the word Sohirdagnam, the breaker of friendship, is used because Narada Muni and the members of disciplic succession disrupt friendship and family life. They are sometimes accused of being Sohirdagnam, creator of enmity between relatives. Actually, such devotees are friends of every living entity, Suhirda Sarvabhutanam. But they are misunderstood to be enemies. Preaching can be difficult, thankless task, but a preacher must follow the order of Supreme Lord and be unafraid of materialistic persons. You have come before me, and what type of face will you show? You are so shameless. Devotees are compassionate. but you show violence to other beings. I have shown friendship to you, but you have broken friendship with me. You create enmity, having shown explicit enmity to me. What type of face are you showing me? You are certainly shameless. Thus I am making you just a little ashamed. Verse 40. Netham punsham viragaha syat त्वयाः केवलीना मृषा मन्यसे यदि उपशमं स्नेह पाश निक्रंतनम. Prajapati continued, if you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from material world, I must say that unless full knowledge is awakened, simply changing dress as you have done cannot possibly bring detachment. Detachment is the result of knowledge, not of simply changing dress. Prajapati Daksh was correct in stating that changing one's dress cannot detach one from this material world. The sannyasis of Kali Yuga who change their robes from white to saffron and then think they can do whatever they like are more abominable than materialistic grasthas. This is not recommended anywhere. Prajapati Daksh was right in pointing out this defect, but he did not know that Narada Muni had aroused spirit of renunciation in Haryashav and Savlashav through full knowledge. Such enlightened renunciation is desirable. One should enter the renounce order with full knowledge, jnana vairagya. For the perfection of life is possible for one who renounces this material world in that way. The elevated sages can be released very easily as supported by the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Bhagavat Bhagavati Yogaha Priyojita Janasya Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Aitukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of God as Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. If one seriously engages in devotional service to Lord Vasudeva, Jnana and Vairag are automatically manifest in one's person. There is no doubt of this. Prajapati Daksh accused Narad had not actually elevated his sons to the platform of knowledge was not factual. All sons of Prajapati Daksh had first been raised to the platform of Jnana and had then automatically renounced this world. In summary, unless one's knowledge is awakened, renunciation cannot take place. For without elevated knowledge, one can not give up attachment to the material enjoyment. I recommend renunciation. From that arises tranquility of mind, and from that comes cutting the knot of affection. How can you say your sons are not qualified for liberation because you think that they do not come to you, their father? Is it not necessary for a renounced person to pay his 3 debts? Shruti says, Yad ahar eva varjet, tad ahar eva pravarjet, yadi chetarathaha brahmacharyad eva pravarjet. One becomes detached when one should leave the house. If circumstances are otherwise, one can renounce from brahmachari life itself. Jabal Upanishad. And I have given mercy to them, though through teaching on detachment. It's true, the detachment is possible by mercy of great devotees. Though you have bewildered the mind of these boys, for 7 or 8 days, they show detachment. Real detachment arising from correct roots will not appear by this false show, dressing as a renunciate without having knowledge or thinking that you are a pure Vaishnava. Though you think of tranquility, that will not arise since they are not a great devotee. So this is the Chakravarti Pad's mood. Verse 4. Other thought, Bhagavad Gita 18:8, Rajasam Tyagam. Rajasam Tyagam. Renunciation is not running away from material problems, but it should be running towards Krishna. Aversion to commitment is not detachment. Absorption in Krishna is real renunciation. Good intention alone guarantees the success. Now the verse 41, I think 2 days back I gave the class on this verse in Pune. Nanubhuyan janati pumana vishyah tikshanatam nirvidyah swayam tasman natatha bhinnadhi paraihi. Material enjoyment is indeed the cause of all unhappiness. But one cannot give it up unless one has personally experienced how much suffering it is. Therefore, one should be allowed to remain in so-called material enjoyment while simultaneously advancing in knowledge to experience the misery of this false material happiness. Then, without help from others, one will find material enjoyment distasteful. Those whose minds are changed by others do not become as renounced as those who have personal experience. Now, this purport, somebody should read this purport. This philosophy of Daksh is refuted by Prabhupada's purport with a very common example. Somebody can read this?
Yeah. Prabhuji?
Yes.
It is said that unless a woman becomes pregnant, she cannot understand the trouble of giving birth to a child. But
Bandhya ki bujhe prasava vedana.
the word Vedana.
I
The
think
word bandhya means
your sound is not
such a woman
clear.
cannot be birth to
His connection
such a woman cannot.
No.
Is it still not clear?
Now it is clear. Go. So again say.
Such a woman cannot give birth to a child. How then can she perceive the pain of delivery? According to the philosophy of Prajapati Daksha, a woman should first become pregnant, then experience the pain of childbirth. Then, if she is intelligent, she will not want to be pregnant again. Actually, however, this is not a fact. Sex enjoyment is so strong that a woman becomes pregnant and suffers at the time of childbirth. But she becomes pregnant again, despite her experience. According to Daksha's philosophy, one should become in real enjoyment so that after experiencing the distress of such enjoyment, one will automatically renounce. Material nature, however, is so strong that although a man suffers at every step, he will not cease his attempts to enjoy.
Tripyanti neha kripana dukha bhajah.
Bahu dukha
Bhajah.
Srimad Bhagavatam 79.44. Under the
Again disconnected. Under the circumstances, unless one get the association of devotee like Narad Muni.
Like Narad Muni or his servant in the reciprocal succession. Should I read?
Yes, once dormant.
Spirit of renunciation cannot be awakened. It is not a fact that because material enjoyment involves so many painful conditions, one will automatically become detached.
One needs the blessing of a devotee like Narad Muni. Then one can renounce his attachment to the material world. The young boys and girls of Krishna conscious movement have given up the spirit of material enjoyment, not because of practice, but by mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his servants. So this is the Daksh philosophy, that first you suffer, first you experience the pain of the world, and then you renounce. This is refuted by Prabhupada's example of woman's pain of pregnancy and again getting pregnant. So it's only renunciation can be by the mercy of a devotee. Therefore you have no knowledge. Hear from me the royal path of detachment, Daksh is saying. Without having experienced how material enjoyment gives suffering, a person cannot know the condition. After understanding the suffering arising from enjoyment, he will be naturally detached. A person whose intelligence is torn apart by others like you will not become naturally detached. In every enjoyment there is a suffering. Therefore, the intelligent people never get sense enjoyment. Where is this verse in Bhagavad Gita? Yes?
5:22.
Say again.
यही संस्पर्श जब होगा
Right. This is the verse. This is the verse from 5th chapter. ये संस प्रसजा भोगा दुख योनिय एवते आदि अवंतु कौन्त्य नतेषु रमते बुद्धा. All material enjoyment are always accompanied by suffering. Therefore, the intelligent people never indulge in material enjoyment. Yes, anybody want to say something more? There are three types of false renunciation, Markat Vairagya. Abhava Vairagya, renouncing the unattainable or unattainable thing. Abhava Vairagya, because I am not getting this thing, therefore I am giving it up. Samsan Vairagya, renunciation in crematorium. Prasava Vairagya, while experiencing labor pain, a woman thinks of not conceiving again. So there are three types of false renunciation. Abhav Vairag, Samsan Vairag, Prasav Vairag. Okay. Verse number 42. Yannastvam karma sandhanam sadhunam grahamedinam Kritvanasi durmarsham vipriyam tava marshitam. Although I live in a household life with my wife and children, I honestly follow the Vedic injunction by engaging in fruitive activities to enjoy life without sinful reactions. I have performed all kinds of yajna, including the Dev yajna, Rishi yajna, Pitra yajna, and Nir yajna. Because these yajnas are called vratas, I am known as Grahavrata. Unfortunately, you have given me great displeasure by misguiding my sons for no reason to the path of renunciation. This can be tolerated once, not again. You can be forgiven once, nahatvam marshitam, for causing such intolerable harm to an honest householder, sadhunam grahamedinam, following the rules of karma, karma sandhanam. Prajapati Daksh wanted to prove that he had been most tolerant in not having said anything when Narad Muni, for no reason, induced his 10,000 innocent sons to adopt the path of renunciation. Sometimes householders are accused of being Grahamedis, for Grahamedis are satisfied with family life without spiritual advancement. Grastas, however, are different because although Grasta live in householder life with their wives and children, they are eager for spiritual advancement. Wanting to prove that he had been magnanimous to Narad Muni, Prajapati Daksh stressed that when Narad had misled his first son, Daksh had taken no action. He had been kind and tolerant. He was aggrieved, however, because Narad Muni had misled his sons for the second time. Therefore, he wanted to prove that Narad Muni, although dressed like a sadhu, was not actually a sadhu. He himself, although a householder, was a greater sadhu than Narad Muni. I can give 4 times the result of whatever causeless enmity you have given to me. But I will not do that. See my tolerance as a householder. I follow the rules on the path of karma. This means I do not know how to act inimically to others. I forgive you who are unworthy of renounce order, intent on doing harm to others, who have broken the rules of Gyan and Bhakti for your intolerable offenses. I think this is the last but one verse. Tano kritan yannastvam abhadram acharah punah tasmal lokeshu te mudha na bhavadha brahmataspadam. Brahmatapadam. You have made me lost my son once, and now you have again done the same inauspicious thing. Therefore, you are rascal who does not know how to behave towards others. You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you to have no residence anywhere. Tantu krantan jannastvam. Tantu krantan, O mischief monger, rascal, who have mercilessly separated my sons from me. Tantu kritant, abhadram, mood, rascal. So this is the curse. This verse is the curse. I curse you to have no residence anywhere. O cause of separation from my sons, Tanu Kritasan. O cause of separation from sons. Tantu means son. And Krantan means separation. O fool, mood. Because you have created misfortune for me, you will wander about without permanent place in all planets. This verse 43 is a curse of Daksh. Because Daksh was Grahamedhi, who wanted to remain in household life, he thought that if Narad Muni could not remain in one place but had to travel all over the world, that would be a great punishment for him. Actually, however, such punishment is a boon for a preacher. A preacher is known as Parivarjika Acharya. An Acharya or teacher who always travel for the benefit of human society. Prajapati Daksh cursed Narad Muni by saying that although he had the facility to travel all over the universe, he would never be able to stay in one place. In the Parampara system from Narad Muni, I have also been cursed, Srila Prabhupada writes. Although I have many centers that would be suitable place for residence, I cannot stay anywhere far. I have been cursed by the parents of my young disciples. Since the Krishna conscious movement was started, I have traveled all over the world 2 or 3 times a year. And although I am provided comfortable place to stay everywhere I go, I cannot stay anywhere for more than 3 days or a week. I do not mind this curse by the parents of my disciples, but now it is necessary that I stay in one place to finish another task. This translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. If my young disciples, especially those who have taken sannyas, take charge of traveling all over the world, it may be possible for me to transfer the curse of the parents to these young preachers then I may sit down conveniently in one place for the work of translation. This is Prabhupada's mood. You will also have misfortune. O person who causes separation from children, you have caused my son to fall from their position, therefore you will not have a place to stay in the world. Last word of this chapter. Sri Shuka Vacha Pratigraha Tad Bhadam Narad Sadhu Samatta Etavan Sadhu Vadohi Titiksheswaraha Swayam. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear king, since Narad Muni is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tad Bhadam. Yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is tolerant and merciful, he took no action. Narad's tolerance. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Titiksha Karnika Sarda Sarvadehi Nam Ajat Shatroho Shanta Sadhu Sadhu Bhushanam. The symptom of sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, and he abides by the scripture, and all his characteristics are sublime. Because Narada Muni is the most elevated of sadhus, devotees to deliver Prajapati Daksha, so this is important. Because Narada Muni is the most elevated sadhu, devotees to deliver Prajapati Daksha, he silently tolerated the curse. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught this principle to all his devotees, Taranadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishana, Amanena Manadena, Kirtanya Sadhari. One should chant the holy name of Lord in the humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. One should ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one who preaches the glories of Lord all over the world or all over universe should be humbler than grass and more tolerant than a tree, because a preacher cannot live an easy-going life. Indeed, a preacher must face many impediments. Not only he is sometimes cursed, but sometimes he must also suffer personal injury. For example, when Nityananda Prabhu went to preach Krishna consciousness to roguish brother Jagai and Madhai, they injured him and made his head bleed. But nevertheless, he tolerantly delivered the two rogues, who become perfect Vaishnava. This is the duty of a preacher. Lord Jesus Christ even tolerated crucifixion. Therefore, curse against Narad was not very astonishing, and he tolerated it. Now, it may be asked, why Narada Muni stayed in the presence of Prajapati Daksha and tolerated all his accusation and curses? Was that for Daksha's deliverance? The answer is yes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that after being insulted by Prajapati Daksha, Narada Muni should have left immediately. But he purposely stayed to hear all Daksha's wrong words, so that Daksha might be relieved of his anger. Prajapati Daksha was not an ordinary man. He had accumulated the results of many pious activities. Therefore, Narada Muni expected that after delivering his curse, Daksha, satisfied and freed from anger, would repent his misbehavior and thus get a chance to become Vaishnava and be delivered. When Jagai and Madhai offended Nityananda, Lord Nityananda stood tolerantly, and therefore both brothers fell at his feet and repented. Consequently, later they become Vaishnava. Nard accepted the curse. Sadhu Samatam instantly tolerates such things. It gives the meaning to the famous phrase, Sadhu Vadha. Etavan Sadhu Vada means that he was capable of counter the curse, but he did not because he was saintly. Nard came to give Daksh mercy. When he heard the criticism of Daksh, why did Nard not leave the place? This was Nard's intention. What? Controlled by anger, let him criticize a lot. Let him curse. This is the result of anger. When his anger subsides, he will see that I did not criticize him and curse him in return and tolerated everything. Then he will repent that he has criticized and cursed a devotee of the Lord, like the Kumaras when they went to the gates of Vaikuntha. Then he will be suitable. Filed for sowing the seed of bhakti. I will then go and sow the seed of pure bhakti in him. Thinking in this way, Nard remained there for a proper moment. But seeing that Daksh was not repentant, he then left, remembering, oh, what power the remnant of offense to Shiva have. Thus the end of commentary on the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of devotees in accordance with previous acharyas. Ki Jai. So we have completed this 5th chapter now. So, any question or comment? Hare Krishna. We are one day ahead of in chapter 5. It is 3 classes, we finished in 2. You may have 2 days break or so. So please complete the questions and assignment, and then chapter 6 will start, I think, after 1 day. Any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, actually Lord Shiva has forgiven Daksha when Lord Vishnu came in front of him. But why, how could he still have the remnants of that offense? But actually, that is what we have heard. When the devotee is forgiving for our offense.
This is very good question. I think devotee will forgive, but Lord will not forgive. Usually devotee never take offense, but Lord will never forgive such things. This is a rule. So Vaishnava Aparadha will continue because our holy name is not showing the mercy. Because offending the devotee is a one of the aparadha, heavy aparadha. So Lord take it more seriously. Devotee may not remember that. Yes, Patri Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice discussion today. I'm just wondering that Daksha, he was such an expert, actually expert. Sushila Mita book Daksha, and he's very, very expert, and he was doing service given by, to him. And we can see very clearly when one service clashing with another service. Narada Muni also, his service is to do brahmachari training. And Daksha, he is just trying to organize everyone to expand the mission of the Lord in the universe. So how much you can see this applicable, of course, in our managerial, you can say, organizational structure.
I think
how we can crash ourselves through the management issues.
I think this Prabhupada's one sentence is the answer to this. All boys should be brahmacharis and all girls should marry. So Daksh was expert when he gave birth to the girls, then population increases. So his duty is performed. There is nothing wrong in his duty. But the boys is better should be, this is what Prabhupada said, all the boys should be brahmachari and all the girls should marry. So this is the Daksh's. Daksh has to follow this way of, he was asked to increase population, not only by boys. It can be done by the girls. So that will be done. And Nard was asked to make brahmacharis. So he has done his part and Daksh has done his part. So both are successful. No?
But is the case correct? What we are reading in the last point, Daksha was such a pious person. So much austerity and punya, jananam, punya karmanam, he did so much. And Narada Muni even was expecting him to repent. But realistically, what I'm trying to see in this situation, very often we can see that offense is created in a managerial level. In whatever service may be, but sometimes such a clash between devotees happens and it's going on years and years and years. And then no wonder then such reaction comes and devotees even leaving movement. How to avoid that? How not to commit the mistake? But at the same time, sometimes Boro Machina Chunia Pani, how to become strict and humble at the same time. Because sometimes Prabhupada said, I have to protect my mission. 3 which I was creating is gone. And you have to make big walls, because big walls making good neighbors, Prabhupada said. If you let it, Gaudiya Math devotees sometimes in, they'll create havoc. And I'm telling as a manager, as a preacher, as you can say, as a manager, as a Narada Muni, as a whatever you can call it, very often people using our humility as a weakness. And I saw practically, and I can keep seeing this, that our movement fragmented because of this kind of managerial weakness, you can say. But at the same time, how to remain humble? Because so many organizations are trying to take this fruit of mango of ISKCON preaching.
I think Prabhupada was very, very, you can say, strict about other people infiltrating the movement. But in the end, when he was leaving this planet, he called and begged pardon from all of those people that, so he was humble at heart. This was shown at the last moment when he was, every God brother was saying, I'm very sorry, please, I have offended you, forgive me. So he was doing this for the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not for his personal, interest. So the main point is if the manager is strict for the purpose of Prabhupada's mission, then there's no offense. But if he has some personal grudges, then he will suffer the reaction. So it's very subtle. There's a very subtle line between the interest of the parampara and movement and interest of person. If there is little merging of the two, then the problem is there. And most of the time, it's not the interest of the movement or Prabhupada's mission. It is personal. That is a problem. Therefore, Trinadapi is a most important for every devotee. We should be very strict as when it is the time to protect the movement and the interest of Prabhupada's ISKCON. And we should be personally humble and tolerant for our, if somebody chastise us or curse us, we should be humble and tolerant. But for the movement, no. Then we should be like a lion.
Actually, you were asking what could be the suggestions as the Vratas, vows. I strongly believe that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us very powerful 4 vows. Not just to see good things and respect others, but not to expect respect for ourselves, be tolerant and to be humble like grass.
Yeah, this is for chanting Hare Krishna is perfectly 4 things. For chanting Hare Krishna Kirtan is Sadhari. Very nice suggestion.
And as for just last not the least, but regarding this protection of the movement, I don't know, devotees heard about this, or maybe you heard. It's called several regional secretaries in GBCs created one document, very nice document, around 275 pages document report. They make analysis of ISKCON history from Prabhupada's time and then zonal acharyas and so many things. And they came out is this book called Empowering the Leaders in ISKCON, in our movement, empowering. So they describe three stages. First, autocracy, then democracy, and third level is Sangha, based on the analysis of history, because it was zonal acharyas, autocracy, it failed. Then democracy, ye bhi theek hai, wo bhi theek hai. Don't disturb me, I'll not disturb you. Bye-bye. Also didn't work. But then Sangha, healthy association of equal-minded people. We have to protect each and every leader. He has to create around himself. Mature, in the Prabhupada said to letter to Karamdara, 1972, 22nd December, we have to create independently thoughtful, individual spirit, create spirit people, those who are independently thoughtful people, Sangha. So this is a very, very nice work. I think because Daksha was alone, but when in our case, Kali Yuga is always provoking some new fight. So nice to have hold the association of Sangha, create the Sangha to protect ourselves and to protect each other. Alone cannot make it.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent the 6 Goswami to Vrindavan. Then they were successful. If you send the one person like Abhimanyu, then he will be slaughtered by the 6 journals. This is the mood.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Any other suggestion? Our journey together ends here. Prashanta is there. Jai Maiya, Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Savabhuma Prabhu, and all the devotees, beautiful Bhakti Vaibhav students. Thank you very much, Savabhuma Prabhu, for teaching again and again. We pray for your good health. We've been worried that you were in the hospital or taking treatment, but I'm happy to see you always ready to speak. Nice, nice, nice. I hope that you are still happy with our students here. This is our study group. And I'm very happy to see Patri Prabhu participating. No, it's wonderful. Hare Krishna, Patri Prabhu. I've come also take your darshan and as well make an announcement, which I put already on the group today. We would like to request our Bhakti Vaibhav students, where you are now in the 6th canto, so you are well informed, aware of the value of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. We are developing a promotion department at the VIHE, which is very much required for